Hi, are you African and you live in Africa, but you want to study in the United States of America for free, absolutely free, and you do not know where to start or how to start? Then you want to grab a chair and sit down and join me in this series as I walk you through from the start to finish. Hi, everyone. So welcome to my channel. If you are just encountering my channel for the first time, you might want to go and see the previous videos because this particular episode and video is part of a series where I'm talking about mastering the graduate school application process in the US for Africans. And so I have done some videos previously on introducing the series, choosing the right program and school, um, where you start, and then understanding funding opportunities. It's very important that you watch those videos to understand this. This whole series has been built precept upon precept. Like, you have to watch the previous ones to have an understanding. But then, if you are already good to go, um, maybe you've identified the program you want to go to, you've identified the program you want to apply to, you've identified the school you want to apply to, then it's fine. You can watch it at this point. So today, or in this particular episode, I want to talk to you about preparing your application materials. Um, you have to know the school, the program. You have to have understood the funding opportunities that you're trying to get and what it requires before you get to this point. I'm saying it because it kind of determines what you're going to put in your application material and what is required. So if you don't have a full understanding of the program or the school, then how do you or where do you want to start? In your graduate school application, it's not about doing your best, it's about doing what is required or giving what is required. And so you don't just put something or submit something because you feel like it. You need to know, what do they want to see, what's in it for them, what is important to them, what do they want to justify. If you have, no matter how beautiful what you have is, if it's not required or they don't want to see it, it doesn't count. So, in this particular video, I want to talk to you about writing a statement of purpose that gets you admitted. Now, in many grad school applications, or if I might say in the United States, you're going to write a statement of purpose. Now, for some, there's also going to be what we call a personal statement. So, there's a statement of purpose, there's a personal statement. For some, they call it only a statement of purpose, but then when you look at what they want to see in the statement of purpose, you see some elements of wanting you to include a personal statement in it. Now, a statement of purpose is for your application to understand who you are, why you're interested in this program, and what you want to get out of the program. It also wants to understand your skills and your experience beyond your resume. Your statement of purpose is not a replication or a duplicate of your resume. It is a statement of purpose, right? So you have to, it's also a place where you can justify or expand on things that are already on your resume or other parts of your application. Like, some people request for a portfolio, but now it is niched down to what you want to study or what you want to niche on in that program, and why you're choosing that school, and you think why that's a good bet. And so it's very, very important to understand your program. What skills are you bringing to the table? How did you identify this program in the first place? Or how did you identify this niche, like this niche you want to work on, this research question you want to answer, that you're doing a doctoral, or what you want to do this master's program, and what you're going to do out of it. So, unlike some other videos that are a little bit quite um, long and detailed, in this particular one, I'm not going to talk to you about the structure because I already have done it in a previous video, which you can watch here. I talked about statement of purpose, personal statement, and portfolio. So you can watch it here. Also, there's another video I try to expand on some things I didn't cover in that statement of purpose video that you can watch here. Okay. But in this particular video, I want to talk to you about some mistakes that you should avoid when writing your statement of purpose for graduate school applications. So go watch those videos first. If you've not watched them, then you can come back here. The first thing is lack of focus or purpose. And this mistake happens when you try to write a generic statement of purpose and you don't clearly outline your academic or professional goals. It's very important for them to see, it's very important for a statement of purpose to be coherent. They want to see how it ties. This is where I'm coming from. This is where I am now. And this is why I want to do this program. And this is why I want to do it now. And this is why I want to do it in the school. Now, when I do it here and I'm able to achieve it, this is where I want to go. This is where I see myself. That's literally the tie it should be. So it's very important that you're specific about your goals and how the program aligns with them and how it will help you achieve your aspirations. One thing admissions look out for in graduate school applications is a program fit. And so you need to be able to communicate this is what you're doing, this is why you want it, and this is why you want it now, and what it's going to tie to the future. The second mistake you want to avoid is not tailoring your statement of purpose to each program. Now, most times you tend to apply for several programs or to several programs, and then most times people just submit the same thing. Very, very, very terrible. It's good to have your basic statement of purpose because definitely this is the same idea, the same thing you want to work on. But then because you want to tailor it to fit what the program is requiring for, it's important you customize it. It might be called a different thing in the other program. There might be one element, maybe a course that is in this program that is not in this other program. And so you want to include it that this is why you're choosing this program and this is why you're choosing this school. Could even be emphasis on the geography and the connections and alumni you're going to get from it. So you want to research each program thoroughly and highlight specific faculty, courses or resources that attract you to that school so you can infuse it in your statement of purpose. Do not just submit a generic statement of purpose. The third mistake you want to avoid is overusing cliches or vague statements. What do I mean by that? Using statements like, I've always been passionate about, I want to make the world a better place, I want to save the world. In as much as those statements are not bad, they are vague when you do not elaborate on it. It's okay to use them, but you want to make the world a better place by how? How do you narrow it down? So you want to provide concrete examples and evidence of your interest and motivations for that program. Don't just use it vague or cliche and say, hey, I want to, it's a no-no. And then some people just go, Abraham Lincoln once said, it's okay to use that, but when you use that, you have to bring it down, bring it home to how it relates to you, concrete examples to what your interests are. Number four, another mistake you want to avoid is focusing on too much personal stories. And I think I'm a very good person to say this to you because my story is kind of a score to what I do, is kind of what births my passion, my interest. And so there's no way I would talk about my interest without bringing out my story. It's kind of my why, is what has delivered on the results that I have, is what has delivered on the experience that I have that you're not going to find reasonable. It's what has brought my lived in experience, right? However, you have to know where to cut it. You have to know how to wield your story with power. If you go and include very long personal stories that are not directly relevant to your academic or career goals, or if they ask you to write your statement of purpose and they said it's not more than 1,000 words, and you're just going on and on about your stories, they'll lose you. Everybody has a story. Everybody has, trust me, when you hear some people's story, realize that my own will better pass, right? So you want to keep your personal stories brief and ensure that they highlight the qualities or experience that contribute to your suitability for the program. So what is the program looking for? How does my story tie? And you have to learn how to keep your story succinct and concise. Number five, the fifth thing you want to avoid is ignoring the program's requirements. Failing to address specific prompts or word count outlined in the program can be a problem. When I got to the United States to study, that's what I understood. No matter how good you are or how amazing, for every question, for every exam, there is a rubric. So if you like, write 1 million words. They will just look for the answers to those rubrics. And if you do not see them, you won't get the full score because each score has, if each answer has a score. So you want to read the program requirements carefully and ensure that your statement of purpose address every requirement, including the formatting and the word count. If they say 10,000 words, 1,000 words, don't go beyond 1,000 words. Now, another thing you want to sit down and look at is what are the requirements? Oh, they're looking for research experience. They're looking for program fit. They're looking for global experience and all of that. If I were you, I would dedicate one paragraph to answer each of those requirements they're looking for. So you need to study the program carefully. That's why I said start early. And then if you know you do not have an answer to that, you can start working on getting an answer before it's time to submit your application. Number 6 is being overly formal or too casual. So it's kind of a dicey place to be in, too formal or too casual. No, you can't be so robotic in your tone and too stiff, and that's why people that use just ChatGPT or AI without humanizing it can be dangerous. So you want to aim for a professional yet conversational tone that reflects your personality. I call it casually professional. So it's relatable, but then it's also quite formal. Number 7, another mistake people make is listing achievements instead of telling a story. When you treat your resume like you're writing, when you treat your statement of purpose like you're writing a resume and you list your accomplishment without giving context or reflection, that's that's a no-no. So you want to explain how your experience has shaped your goals and prepared you for graduate school. And I always tell people every experience you do count. You're working in a big organization. You need to find out why that work matters and how it relates to your goal and being able to communicate it. The eighth mistake people make is focusing only on the past. When you spend too much time discussing past achievements without connecting them to your future goals, that's where a problem is. Now, yes, you know you're coming from out here. Most times, when you've been quite successful, you can be tempted to bask in your success, but you need to explain you need to be able to balance your statement of purpose, your past experiences and how they have prepared you for the program now. So your statement of purpose is more like, oh, this is who I am, or this is who I was, this is who I am now, or this is what brought me to this my journey, and this is why I need this program because this is where I want to get to, and this program is the bridge or that will help me get to where I want to get to. So you need to be able to balance it. The ninth mistake you should avoid is using flowery languages or overcomplicated vocabulary. So you don't want to use too complex statements. You want to write clearly and concisely. Um, Most people reviewing admissions applications value clarity and precision over unnecessary complexity or complexity. The number 10th mistake, and then okay, I'm going to talk about that. I think it's one of the errors I listed. The number 10th mistake is poor structure and organization. When you write a disorganized SOP that jumps with ideas without a clear flow, it's not coherent, you have a problem. You want to use a logical structure, have an introduction, maybe follow that by your academic and professional background, then academic, professional, maybe research experience background and all of that. Then your goals, short-term goals and long-term goals, then why this program, and then you can conclude. In your conclusion, you can reinforce why you fit for the program and your enthusiasm. So structure and organization is important. Another mistake you should avoid is grammatical errors and typos. Please proofread your SOP multiple times, and if possible, have others review your SOP for correctness and for clarity and correctness. They might not be at the admission committee and they might not know what they're looking out for, but just ask them, if you're an independent person, just read this. Do you think it makes sense? What do you think about it? Right? Another thing somebody else taught me is that don't submit immediately. That's why it's important to prepare early. When you write it, just leave it somewhere for a while. It also happened to one of my applications. One day I just woke up and I just busted out with these ideas, and there were a lot of things I had to rewrite. So you can leave it for a while and come back to it. Number 12, overemphasizing challenges without growth. When you dwell on personal hardship without showing how you overcome them or how you overcame them or grew from them, that could be a problem. So you don't want to emphasize challenges without showing how it has shaped you. So challenges should shape your resilience, problem solving, and all of that. So always tie it to something. Don't just say, my father was a poor farmer and I just went to school or something, tied to something. The 13th mistake is exaggeration or false claims. When you overstate your achievements, making claims you cannot substantiate, it's an error. You need to be honest and authentic. They know. Let your genuine experiences and aspirations speak for themselves. Because at the end of the day, they will tie your SOP to your resume, to your portfolio if you ask for your portfolio, and to your recommendation letters. So it has to make sense. Okay. Another mistake people make is ignoring cultural context. So when you fail to adapt your tone and examples to align with the US academic culture, it can be a problem. And to avoid this mistake, you need to research what graduate schools in the United States value. And one thing they value is collaboration, critical thinking, and initiative. They want to see you've been able to take initiative. They want to see that you can think critically because most times you're going to work with case studies. They expect you to contribute. So, um, in the US, that's what's expected. In the UK, I think it's more like academic. Oh, I had a first class, and that kind of stuff will sell very much. In the United States, having a first class is not enough, right? It's not enough. So you need to understand the cultural context. Another mistake that people do, or the final mistake I'm going to list, is ending your SOP without summarizing the key points, your key points and enthusiasm for the program. So you want to conclude with a strong statement, which sometimes I like to call a thesis, that reinforces your fit for the program and how you're eager to contribute to its community. So beyond researching about the graduate program and the school, you want to look at them. What's the environment about? What are the affiliations of the school? What can the school bring to you, and what can you bring to it? Okay. So that's it about SOP. In final for this episode, I think it's very important that you have someone with experience review your SOP because fresh eyes can catch issues that you might miss. Also, when you avoid these mistakes, trust me, you will stand out. And like I said, start first, start early, start early, start early. Don't wait till the last minute. I hope this is helpful. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about crafting a competitive resume and CV. See you.